really, really love the attic studio.
Oh,
What's up, guys? Michael
thank you.
DeLon here. Me admiring his studio. Like polar opposites, dude. I'm living in a padded cell. And and you have this like cool vibe going with wood paneling and this like textured brick. But
Yeah.
what is it? Okay, so there's a brick wall behind you and it has like a shape around it, like something used to be there. Is that an old window?
Well, it still is a window. So when I'm not on Zoom, I can take that off so I can see outside on a beautiful day like today. It's going to be 72 in Little Rock today. So I can open my window, get the breeze in there. But when I'm on Zoom, I close it because the light comes in and it's no good.
So that's a faux brick finish.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I thought it was a brick wall, dude.
Well, everybody does. That's the beautiful thing, you know?
Okay, Michael, we are not sharing this episode with anyone. It is just us talking. I don't want to blow the whole secret here. Anybody who's watching, so sorry.
Yeah, no big deal. I love it. I get a lot of comments on my office, and I'm grateful for it. So
that's so hilarious. Yeah. All right, folks, Michael DeLon here, and we are talking credibility marketing. Michael and I connected, I don't know, not too long ago, but the dude is a genius when it comes to like understanding how credibility and that placement of credibility in the marketplace, your credibility, how you express your credibility, makes such a difference in market attraction, in selling, in transforming people's lives, because they don't believe you can do it. They won't trust you to do it. Even if you're the best ever at what you do, that credibility is so critically important. So Michael's going to dive into how credibility works, like psychology-wise, and how we use that stuff, and then tools that we can use to make credibility something tangible for all of us that's sticky enough to get out there and do something with. So, dude, thanks for being here.
You're welcome, Chris, man. I'm looking forward to it. Always love opportunities just to share my passion with people.
Same.
Yeah.
All right. So let's rock and roll, dude. Tell us about credibility marketing. How does it work? What is it?
Yeah. Credibility marketing really works in the mind of your audience, right? That too many times in marketing, we think it's the next thing out there, the next shiny object, or my message, which is really crystal clear. It has to be important, right? But I learned credibility marketing, Chris, a number of years ago when my wife and I were missionaries in America to the family with a ministry called Family Life. And we did that for 10 years, thought that was going to be the only thing I did. Before that, I had a background in Christian radio, and I've been studying marketing for small business owners for years, right? God called us into ministry, so we were there. I thought I'd never leave.
You had a background in what?
In family ministry.
Family ministry, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
So my wife and I were helping people understand God's blueprints for marriage, right? We grew up in church. Okay. Nobody told us how to be married. And so the first 5 years of our marriage were like this because we're complete opposites. So anyway, long story short, we got involved in this ministry, helping other people. Thought it was going to be the last thing I ever did. Well, 10 years later, I was on the leadership team of that ministry. They went through some corporate reorganizations. And after the third reorg, my name wasn't on the leadership team anymore. That was not good. They started shuffling me around the ministry because I can do lots of things and did that for 2 years. And those were what I call my prison years because I was in a job I hated. I loved the ministry, but I wasn't passionate. I didn't like what I did. And so after 2 years, I talked to my wife and prayed to God. I said, Lord, I got to do something else. And he said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go help small business owners with marketing because they hate it and I love it. So he said, go. So I escaped prison, Chris, and I found Easy Street. I started my own company. So anyway, I'd call you and I'd say, Chris, I think I can help you with your business. And so you'd meet with me. We'd have a great conversation. And you'd say, Michael, what have you done for the last few years? And I said, well, I've helped build marriages and families. And you said, Michael, that's an honorable thing to do. Way to go. Look at the time. I've got another appointment. Let's keep this conversation going.
Absolutely, dude.
It was terrible. I was living on savings. Money's going out the door. And I'm like, I got to fix this. So I went to my church one day, prayed. I was just pacing the hallway saying, God, how can I help people? And he gave me the idea to take all of my marketing strategies that I've learned over the years and put them in a book. And so and this was January of 2013 when I escaped prison. Okay. So I took all of my marketing strategies and I published a book.
Okay.
Then I would call you. I say, Chris, I think I can help you grow your business. You'd set a meeting with me. I would mail you a copy of my book. I'd walk into your office the next week and there it was. My book was on your desk, dog-eared, highlighted, underlined. You'd read my book. And in that meeting, you'd say, now, Michael, in your book, you said, how do you help me do that? And you'd hire me.
Yep.
Now, let me ask you a question, Chris. Easy question. What changed? What changed between that first meeting that you and I had when you didn't hire me and that second meeting when you did? Did my background in marketing change? Am I understanding of how to market? Nope. Did my background in
something went before you and convinced me you were an expert before you walked in the door?
Totally. When I walked in your door and you'd had my book, you immediately thought of me as an expert in marketing. And I didn't have to sell you. I didn't have to convince you. You were there, pen in hand, ready to take down the prescription that I was going to give you for your marketing solutions or challenges, right? But that changed everything, because until that point, I was competing with all the media reps and all the ad agencies who are knocking on your door every day trying to get your business. I was in a category of one because I was the guy who wrote the book on marketing. That's credibility marketing in a nutshell. It's doing something that just absolutely penetrates the mind of your audience, separates you from all of your competitors, and communicates a clear message to your prospects that says, this is the person we need to be talking to.
That's brilliant.
It's that
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Most of us think about like, oh my gosh, we got to write a book. We got to have a book. We got to have a book. We got to have a book or an ebook or a 3-part video series or something. But the book thing, dude, is so daunting. And most of us like don't connect. Oh, but I get it. It's like the key to the castle. It's not that the book has to be brilliant. No. It's that it's a freaking book. That's it.
It's what happens in the mind of your audience. In our culture, experts have books, okay? Or those we perceive as experts, okay? Now, this may be blasphemy. Tony Robbins, we all know him, right?
Yeah.
He was a no-name 35 years ago. He was walking on fire doing seminars until he published his book, Unlimited Power. That book made him a household name.
Interesting.
From there, he built an empire, okay? Tony got most of his stuff early on from Jim Rohn, right? In the Christian financial world, everybody knows Dave Ramsey. Dave's a great guy. Is he really that smart? No, he's got a few books and a radio program.
Yeah.
Okay. If you read any of these books from these guys, rare is the day that they're telling you anything new. But what happens is they're telling it to you from their perspective. Chris, everybody watching this has a story to tell. You need to be telling that story of who you are, but why do you do what you do? Okay. The reason today I run a book publishing company for small business owners and I help them with credibility marketing is because my life changed when I published my book. It changed everything for me, right? And I know by working with hundreds of business owners over the past few years, they all have a story to tell, but they're not telling it. And it doesn't have to be directly related to what you do. Okay. It's
gotcha.
I've got an attorney down in Florida. Real quick story. He went to college in Florida to play baseball. He was heading to the pros. He was a pitcher. Threw his arm out. Had to get surgery. Kicked him out of baseball. Today he's a personal injury attorney. Okay, in Florida. And I said, have you ever told anybody that story? He's like, oh, no. I said, we're going to start telling that story. And we weave that story of how he went through the pain of something that came out of nowhere, an injury, the rehabilitation and getting back on his feet, because that's what he helps people do now who are involved in an accident. So we branded him. We took that story and branded him in his book, When Life Throws You a Curveball. He was a pitcher, right? People involved in accidents, that was a curveball. My youngest son got T-boned 2 days ago. It was a curveball.
Wow.
How do you respond to that, right? It's a story that's unique to him that allows him to compete against some really big players in his market because nobody can tell that story but him, and it resonates with his audience. Okay? That's credibility marketing. That's reaching to the heart level with something, a message that's so compellingly you that it differentiates you and it makes you memorable. That makes sense?
Gotcha. It's sinking in. I'm a slow learner. Okay. So let's get down to like actionable stuff. So I need to have the thing to be able to present and send before me, a book or something that says I'm credible in this space. I'm different than everybody else.
Yeah.
Now, some people are listening and they've got, some people have like way more money than they have time. Some people have more time than they have money.
Right.
And some of us have neither, and some of us, some of us have both, right? So there's four quadrants, I guess. Where do we start? Depending on where you are, obviously some people can like throw some money at it. Some people can't. Like, what is the first thing you would recommend an expert do to start building a credibility tool? Like, what's the tool they can start using as soon as possible?
Yeah. The best thing is your story, quite honestly.
Okay.
I'm doing when we get a new client, we always start with brand strategy. And when I mean brand strategy, I mean your story, your unique story. So this lady I'm working with, been in multiple businesses, serial entrepreneur. She wants to write and help other people grow their business. Mm-hmm. So she came up with a book title that, how to build and grow your small business without paying too much in taxes. I'm sorry. Did I not?
Yeah.
So I asked I mean, how many of those are out there, right? So I asked her background. We've got 8 questions we ask in our brand strategy questionnaire. Found out her family's competitive sailboat racing. That's what she's done all of her life.
Oh, heck yeah. Now I'm reading that book.
Dude, how about the title of the book is Hoisting the Sails, right? How to capture the winds of commerce to grow your business, or something like that, to go, oh, that's different. Now I have the opportunity to really help her tell her story of how sailing taught her leadership and business development and timing and all this, and how that applies to a small business owner.
Yep.
That is brand strategy. That's unique to her. Everyone in your audience has it. So that's the first place to start, because once you have that angle, that position, then you can choose a tactic or a channel. Is it a book? Is it a podcast? Is it a video? What is it? Where are your strengths, right? I'm biased. Okay. I'll tell you, I'm convinced a book is the best credibility builder for a number of reasons. Number one, the barrier is so high. How many people do you know who have a published author behind, or a publishing company behind them?
Well, not many. And we run into a lot. And let me just, before you go into that, let me say one more time. So if people didn't catch the first part, the first time you said it, the book happens to be the thing our culture connects to credibility.
Yes.
If you were the village spiritualist in some remote tribe, maybe it was the number of jewels or rocks or whatever you had hanging around your necklace or your belt. But in our culture, the book is the thing on the necklace.
Absolutely.
Okay, so keep going.
No, I was going to say, in the military, right? How do you know when the general's coming versus a private? Well, it's the stripes and things, right? We all in that culture. Yeah, we have that. In our culture, experts have books. Mm-hmm. And so what I tell people all the time, Chris, is never write a book. Okay? Because the process of writing, actually typing it out, is going to take way too long. You're going to get frustrated because of self-editing. You'll type a sentence or two, then you'll hit backspace. No, that's not don't do that. If you're going to do a book, a podcast, a video series, whatever it is, sit down first of all and think about your story. What's unique about your story, and how many ways can you tell that story as it connects with your audience and where their pain points are? Build an outline. Okay. Now take that outline and go and record your video, or write your blog post, or record your book. Okay. So our company, we have a speak to write process. Our authors don't write their book. They speak it to us. Our writers interview them, because Chris, you can talk about your business all day long and you love it. And we're going to get stories from you that you would never write in a book, because when you speak and you write, you're using different hemispheres of your brain and things. So find a program, use Word, dictate your book, speak to write your book, get it down on paper, and then hire an editor or somebody who can craft it and make it really, really good. Because, I mean, we're business owners. We shouldn't be spending our time trying to write a book. Get the content out that you got in your head and your heart, and then pay somebody to make it good. Good is good enough, right? My first book came out when it first came out. Dude, I gave it to my son, who was at that time about 11, Eagle Eyes, Jeremy. He opened it up, and on page 3, he's like, "Do you know you have a typo here, Dad?" I looked at him, I said, "Jeremy, thank you. I really don't care." And I've had clients say, "You know you have a typo on page 32? Guess what? They read my book.
They read the book. I know. That's what I'm like, yeah.
I don't care. I mean, yes, we go back and we revise and all that, but don't make it perfect. Here's one of my clients told me years ago, done beats perfect every time.
Every time.
Get your story out. Get your book. Get your podcast. Get your whatever you're going to do. Those are channels. Okay. If you're really wanting to make a big impact and be seen as the expert, I'm convinced you need a book. That needs to become your calling card. Books have shelf life. I published this in 2013. I still use it today to gain clients, get referrals, and grow my revenue.
It's good. It's good.
Around, right? It doesn't go anywhere, and people continue to see me and hire me because I'm the author of a book.
Okay, so if we're starting out, okay, I got to get my head around this thing. The book sounds daunting. I've got plenty of money. I've got time. I could write it. I could hire somebody. But you're still saying, dude, I just wrote down some of your words here. I think never write a book. Write an outline of stories and start speaking those stories. Absolutely. And then you can have somebody else unpack that podcast or unpack the video series or unpack the interviews with your company and get that into a written format.
Yes, absolutely. And think about, the book. All right. And I say book, I mean this, but you could think of a video series. Okay. Whatever it is, your storyline always comes through. So every time you're talking about something, it comes back to the story, the sailing story, or the life threw you a curveball. Did you have a slip and fall accident? Did a dog bite you? Did you get hit by a big truck? I get it. Life threw you a curveball, and I'm here to help because I've been there. Life threw me, right? That connects at a deep heart level because that's what we buy people we know, like, and trust. And at most levels, people buy you more than what you do.
That is so absolutely true. Because if you want to let's go back to Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And hat off to Tony Robbins and everything he's done for so many thousands of people.
Totally.
But if you want Tony's information, it's for free on podcast, books, and YouTube.
Yes.
But if you want Tony Robbins, you show up at the conference.
Absolutely.
And there is a difference, and it's not the information. You're buying a moment with Tony.
Absolutely.
And you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Changing. So if you want to become, let's say, the Tony Robbins to your audience, okay, you don't need 18 million people following you. If you had a tribe of 500 people who were diehard followers of Chris Williams, you know what they have? You not only have their heart, but you have their loyalty and you have their referrals to their friends, neighbors, relatives, business owners, church members. They're going to spread your message 5x when they know, love, and trust you. So your sphere is growing because you're showing up authentically, and you're telling them stories that connect with them and who they are. It's identity marketing. They come to you because they bond with you. Right.
So the story thing, man. So give me a percentage. Is it possible? How much of a book that you help people write is story versus steps 1, 2, 3?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. So typically chapter 1 is your story, curveball. Tell me that whole story of who you are and why do you do what you do. Now, the rest of the book, let's say there are 8 more chapters in that book. We're going to probably start with a story in every chapter that connects back to that main story. And then we're going to weave it into, here's the 1, 2, 3. Here's how you do it. And then maybe at the end, we're going to wrap a bow around it and come back and say, remember when I got injured in that baseball accident? Here's how it played out for me.
Gotcha. So let me just say if I heard you right. So the chapter 1 would be big full-on story. And every chapter after would be little touch points that refer back to that story, give a principle to practice and a little touch point again to say, now do you see it? And then we go on, okay, oh, dude.
Exactly.
Story is so hard for most of us because most of us are practitioners, and we get good at what we do because we're car mechanics, basically, in some form or fashion in the world. I'm really good at getting engines to run in marketing or in speaking or in copywriting or whatever. And that's what I do. I'm a tactician.
Right.
Few of us start out as storytellers. And it's so good. And it makes it really hard to tell the story, though, because we get lost in.
Well, it does. So let's boil it down. How do you get started? Take a friend out for coffee and take 3 or 4 questions. Say, I want you to ask me these questions about my background. And I don't want you to stop at the surface level. I want you to ask me why, or how did that happen, or tell me more about that 3 or 4 times, and record the whole thing on your computer, your phone. But having somebody else interview you over coffee, your barriers are down. Because if I said, okay, Chris, I'm gonna ask you about your background. Okay, the barriers are going up. You're getting nervous. What are you going to ask? No, just have a casual conversation with somebody, but give them some questions, and you'll be amazed at the stories. Because some of your best friends, you probably don't know their story.
No, you're right.
Go find it. They're fascinating people.
Who knew, right?
Yeah, really. Who knew? And then find somebody who can make it fun. You know, I've got all kinds of stories of my life and things, but I always start with when I escaped prison, because it captures everybody's attention. They go, what? And then I followed up. Now it's not a literal prison, right? But I've got them. Now I can take them where I want them to go, so they understand who I am. Your story can do the exact same thing. I mean, Chris, there's a reason you're doing what you're doing right now. You've got a background, right? But there's a reason you ended up here, and what drives you and fuels you to impact so many other people. There's a story there. That's the type of coach I want to be around. I can find coaching on the internet. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I don't want coaching. I want a coach. I want somebody who will understand me and my struggles and help me break through those barriers.
Dude, this is good. This is practical. Like truly, thank you, Michael, because you're helping me. I don't know if anybody else. I mean, we have like 2. We have 2 listeners, dude. 2.
There you go.
One's my wife, and the other is her like fake login name she uses just to make it feel like there's somebody else listening. She's so nice.
We have a majority now.
So Jill, thank you for you and you watching. But for me here, for real, the like learning about this. Is the story, how to get my story into a book. Because when I don't have a book, folks. The day I'm recording this, whenever you're watching this, if we ever write a book, I should go back and link it to this. So we're like, yeah, I did it. It's honestly, I don't, because it sounds scary. It sounds like so much work and hurdles to overcome. And I don't even know what the hurdles are, dude. I feel like I'm running around 100-yard dash loop with the hurdles in place, like at the Olympics, but the stadium lights are out. Like I know how to run, but dude, I can't freaking even see the next hurdle in front of me.
Yep.
You know?
And isn't that where every one of your prospects live, and every one of your coaching clients' prospects live, right? They all run around in circles. And what would you tell somebody if you met somebody, Chris, who said, man, I'm just running around in circles. I can't figure out how to get my business to where it goes. My mindset's terrible. You would say, hire a coach.
I would say, man, I used to run around that circle too. And I went around it a couple of times, learned where all the hurdles are, and scraped my knees up. And then one day I found the light switch on the freaking wall of the stadium.
Yeah.
And I flipped it on, and now me and my friends run around the track all the time. Super fun. You want to join?
Yep. Beautiful story right there. Resonates with where I am, right? So I talk with people like you every week. Wow, I thought about writing a book that is the phrase that I get every week. I've been thinking about writing a book for years. Well, what's stopping you? Well, I don't know where to go. Great.
I don't know what to do.
Chris, that if you can show up on a call like this with one of my writers for 90 minutes and do about 6 or 8 of those, we'll have your book created and published to Amazon, make you an Amazon bestselling author, and we'll do it in under 8 months. How does that sound?
That was beautiful. Like I felt that. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. It's doable. Because we're doing all the hard work, but the one thing we don't bring to the process of helping you create your book, Chris, is the content. Our job is to extract the content from you because you've got it in your head and your heart. You know what you want to say. You just don't know how to structure it or how to say it. That's why our writers get on calls like this with you doing just what we're doing here and going, all right, Chris, let's talk about what are the biggest struggles that your clients are facing? Because really the book's not about you. It's about your clients. It's about your prospect. Right. It's how you help them bridge from where they are, running around that dark stadium to finding the light switch and turning on the switch.
Oh, man. Helping people. Oh, my gosh. That makes me feel, I just love that. I feel that. Okay. Michael, we got to go in a second. Okay. So where do they want to go? Is it paperbackexpert.com? Is that your home?
That's it.
I'm putting it on the right here on the screen, folks. If you're listening, it's Paperback Expert, just like a paperback book, PAPERBACKEXPERT.com. I'm going to link Michael. I'm going to link your social media profile or stuff like that up here in this post as well. Just tell us where you want people to go. But Paperback Expert, folks.
That's like,
dude, thank you. Is there what on paperbackexpert.com? Where should we go? We land there. Is there some like resource or something we should be like, I got to start here to learn more about this?
Yeah. So well, I mean, the whole page is great. Two things. There's a video there with an opt-in that will explain our entire process to you and the pricing and everything. It's all there. Up at the top, there's a link called the Credibility Calculator. In under 5 minutes, we can give you a credibility score from 0 to 100 of how does the public perceive you in terms of credibility. We talk about it, but what is it? We've defined it. 20 questions, less than 5 minutes. Go take the credibility calculator at paperbackexpert.com. That's just a great way to say, Chris, you've been around a long time, but is your credibility score a 20 in the eyes of your audience? And then how do you improve that? So we've got some videos that follow that up to help you understand how to improve it.
That is really, really helpful. In fact, I pulled up my screen real quick. Okay, so here's the website. This is actually really cool, guys. Here's the website up here at the top. Click here to calculate your credibility score. Like, this is smart. So I'm clicking on the link right there. You can see it. This is so simple. I'm telling you what, folks, if you're trying to figure this out, go freaking through the thing. How long have you been in business? 5+ years. It just asks you the questions, helps you figure it out, and helps you know what to do next. That's really helpful, dude. Thank you so much, Michael.
Oh, you're welcome. Obviously, it's a passion of ours. I believe everybody has a story to tell, and they need to tell it. So we would love to, serve people and help them take that next step in the journey of building their credibility so that they can serve more people, gain more clients, get referrals, and grow their revenue. Have fun doing it.
Man.
Thanks for having me.
Another great conversation with Michael. Thank you very much for teaching me, Chris Williams, not the other two people that watch, but not teaching me for real. Like, this is personally something that I have struggled with for a long time. I am scared to write a book, and I got to get off the fence on this one.
Well, you do, because the message that you have inside of you is so powerful, and your community knows it. Think of the thousands out there, Chris, the tens of thousands who could benefit just by reading a copy of your book. Whether they ever join your program or not, you can have massive impact by putting your message out and having what I call the silent salesperson. Your book is out there all the time. So
I love that. Love that. Michael,
thanks, brother.
Thanks for letting us hang out, and thanks for spending your time with us, and for educating. Appreciate it. Paperbackexperts.com, paperbackexpert, no S, paperbackexpert.com. Michael DeLon here. Dude, great episode. Thank you very much.
I enjoyed it, Chris, man. Appreciate it.